I haven't been to any other countries, so why should I care about globalization? When I talk about globalization, that's what people usually say to me. But is that true? Does globalization matter even if you haven't been abroad? The answer is yes. Globalization matter everyone. So according to Urchbeck in 2000, one's own life is no longer tied to a particular place. It is not a settled life. It's a life on road, a nomadic life, a life in a car, airplane, and train, on the telephone and internet. That's correct. And a factual life is you are being globalized every time you wake up at your home, as globalization is in everything that we use or have. So take myself as example. I wake up at 8 a.m. and do a personal cleanings with made in US electric toothbrush and check my iPhone to see if there is any information from my international classmates about my course in Australia. Then I usually turn on my personal computer. It is made in China, but which separates from all over the world, such as a LCD from Foxconn and the CPU from Intel. What I think the globalization sometimes change its form and hiding some places you may never have imagined. Once upon a time, when I do some cookings and surprisingly found I was using olive oil produced locally, but actually using imported Spanish olives. This is partly because globalization cuts the things we used to be no longer simply made in one region, but made with global efforts and the technologies. It is particularly manifest in manufacturing in second-tier countries with enough labor and infinity market. And global supply chain is shaping what we use nowadays. So everyone use a car, but do you really know how to a car is produced in your country? So this SUV is made in Indonesia, but it separates from 7 different countries. Firstly, and most importantly, the turbocharging is imported from Germany and iron is purchased from China. Then with automotive chip from Malaysia and the rubber tires from Cambodia, the basic structure is finished in production line in a factory in Jakarta. Lastly, it is installed with Chinese glasses and Italian tailor leathers. So every time we consumers purchase a product, we are actually enjoy the global service. People's work and diligence has made our world much convenient and safe. But I would also like to say globalization affects you and your life, and you are also producing global effects. According to Doreen Massey in 1991, every time you drive to out-of-town shopping center, you contribute to a rising prices, even hasten the demise of corner shop. When we only focus on the meaning of the sentence, we will realize that it sounds quite amazing, but we have that power because humans have self-awareness and they can always choose to do it in their own ways in commercial life. Recently, there happened a quite interesting event in China. Taiwan's trade situations has been increasingly intensive, and for some unknown and potential reasons, there's suddenly occurring a wave of storing daily necessities in southeast coastal. People go to shopping centers buying lots of vegetables and drink water. This surprisingly leads to a decline of the fruit export price in Taiwan, as over 40% of fruit are exported to mainland, but recently people are busy in buying other food that can help them with imagined world. According to Korean in 2001, globalization connotes the increasing interconnectedness and interdependence of social, cultural, and economic phenomena across nation boundaries. Health states it is about a stretching of connections, relations, and networks between human communities in an increase in the intensity of this and the general speeding up of all these phenomena. Actually, globalization is more of the factor that shapes our ways alive than a simple product side movement. Willing or not, we have adapted to globalization and change our ways of daily life. And moreover, we have accept some new cultures that globalization has brought to us. So China had not always tightly connected with the world until its reform and opening in 1979, and since then, it has been globalized at an alarming speed, which changed people's life. Like in 1990s, the first Christmas celebration was held in Shanghai, and people in China has opened themselves to different cultures around the world. We get involved with world events through network. We know what is happening in the world and share what we think with others. And sometimes we make preparations according to the information about world situations. The recent case is COVID-19. The first reported outbreak is considered to be the one in Wuhan, China, and Chinese, especially Chinese international curriculum. It has been almost 2 years, and I, to be honest, has get used to such a lifestyle, and gaining information through network has been a very important part of my life. The pandemic has not been effectively controlled. People's movement, traveling, and contacts will cause infections, but these are inevitable as it's an unstoppable trend in our society. We rely on others, and it won't change because of the virus. There also forms a new culture, a distance socializing with masks. I think the electricity and internet makes people inward lead a similar life. So that's the pandemic in 2021 when all politicians, medical works, and the professors in universities give up conflicts of nations, and the parties agree to do so. Similar to Korea in 2001, thus we say empirical research on cultural globalization tends to be restricted to an examination of the impact of specific form of transnational or global culture on a single nation and culture.